Another day has passed by without 17-year-old Tyrone Magai being in school. But while his father struggles to get him placed in another institution to start senior high school, the education of his two daughters also now hangs in the balance. Actually, Terrio Magai is father to triplets, Amrita, Nikita, and his only boy Tyrone, all of whom wear dreadlocks. Although Tyrone was placed at the Achimota School by the computerized school selection and placement system, his two sisters gained admission to the St. John's Grammar School in Accra. But here, their hairstyle had not been objected to by school authorities until now. Mr. Magai says he was called into an unofficial meeting with some persons purporting to be members of the St. John's Grammar School Old Students Association on Tuesday. He was apparently told that the dreadlocks of his girls would be a problem here too.
We need to come into agreements. The school has rules and regulations, and like when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. For some time, I have been with some students at the university where we have this thing. That place is a tertiary.
Yes, please.
I think this issue, when that's gone far. Our sister school, Achimota School, the issue is there, and they have the position is that they should take it off for the 3 years after the school.
But this is something that's going to be very difficult for us.
It's the land of Africa.
Yeah.
You understand? If it's the Western countries, it's a different thing.
Is it becoming a trend of old students' associations usurping the authority of school management and doing as they please? Mr. Magai says he couldn't believe his ears.
Yeah, yesterday when I heard it, I was like, my heart went boom. Because I thought, but what is this? Why is it that everybody is trying to pick on us from every angle? And then when we brought them on the 18th, the headmaster, I saw him, I happened to bump into him. And somebody told me he's the headmaster. So I went to talk to him and I told him, I'm taking my son to Achimota. The girls are here. So I don't know if there was anything he could do for me so that I could leave. And then he said, oh, they are old enough. Can they not stay there? So I pointed them to him. Then I said, oh, there's one other issue about their hair. I want to talk to him before anything goes on. So he looked at them and said, oh, it's not a problem. You make sure they are enrolled and they give their, they follow the procedures, and then somewhere next week I could come and then let's have a talk about it. That means he saw the girls, but he wasn't that disturbed. So I don't know why this time,
So about this meeting that the Magais are talking about to have occurred between them and some personalities in the St. John's Grammar School, I walked into the school to find out whether I could get an official correspondence on this story. I managed to speak to a top official, one of the assistant headmasters, on this issue, and he could not confirm to me that any meeting of this sort had happened. He said that he had been at his office the entire day and did not have any idea of this meeting. He, however, made mention that the headmaster of the school would be the best person to speak to. However, he is also not at post today and would report to work on Wednesday. While this battle has just started at the St. John's Grammar School, Tyrone must also start the search for a new senior high school. He tells me he is saddened by the refusal of the Achimota School to admit him, even after an intervention by the Ghana Education Service.
Still see a little bit of discrimination over here because we are in a nation. The nation is one. Some people were assuming we have schools for disabled people, for blind people, but then when we are to build a school for the Rasta people, we live in the nation as Rasta people with all the other religions. So isolating just the religion, it wouldn't really work in a school if we were to divide it amongst ourselves. And with their initiation to resist and reject us because of our hairs is something I really find stressing. Initially, I thought maybe you should cut your hair to fit into their institutional policy. But then I think it's not something necessary. Because coming into the school, they said they have to mold your emotional well-being and psychological well-being. We have been in first cycle school before, so it's like they are assuming when we get inside, our health is going to interfere with our education or something. We've been in that situation in JHS already. There was no case whatsoever, like in any possible way. So I think their assumptions, they may need to do a more research on us.
His father, Terry, also shares in the frustration of his son.
The school is under GES, from what I've heard or what I know, my research. And how could the school give an order that the GES give an order that the school should admit the Rastafarian children, and then suddenly they come again and retract from what they said, and the Nagrat to come in, and then suddenly it's a different story. So I don't know if the school, the GES and the Nagrat are above the law, the constitution. Then we have it proved there. Because what happened now looks like the school is above GES. And this could not be the way, you know. So the next thing is we'll have to be meeting in the court.
In all this, Tyrone says he will not be defeated by his current predicament. Although cutting his hair is a no-go area, he believes he will find somewhere where he can continue his education in spite of it.
As a person, I really want to get educated. So we do all that we can to also get education, because the basic idea of going into the school is to pass your WASI. That is the basic reason. And secondly, to be able to live with the other different, like intolerance with the other culture. So we try to find an alternative. If everything goes wrong and they said because of your hair they won't understand whatever grades or you may have, then we'll have to find another alternative. But then definitely we will get educated at all costs.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ni Ama.